Hello and welcome to Little Birdie's Monday Sports Show First Look. I am your host, Nikki Sylvester. We are going to cover the AFL Round 6 review and the NRL Round 7 review. First Look is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form and Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. Now, in the studio with me today is MG. How are you, buddy, for this ANZAC Day Monday?
Yeah, good, Nikki. It's a great week, really. I really enjoyed the Melbourne-Richmond game last night with the ANZAC. The ANZAC, a whole show at night looked really good. So, a different take on it. And today, obviously, they should get a decent crowd. Great weather down in Melbourne again for the Collingwood Essendon game. So hopefully they get 70,000, 80,000. I would have thought today. So yeah, it's been good. We've had a big week again.
We've had
it started. What did we do? We started last Wednesday. We were lucky to be part of the Josh Giddey event. So you've become a basketball fan overnight. You have. I see you've been shopping for some kicks and everything like that. But
I've been influenced. You
have been influenced. Yeah. Just a quick shout out to our fellow cohorts, both Chris Anstey and Chris Feeney. They put on an amazing event for over 300 people there at the park in Melbourne. We were lucky enough to host Josh Giddey at the event. Total Pro. We've got some good footage coming up on our socials and everything like that. So you were able to be there with Parky, our new NBA guy, and we got some good interviews. It was a great night, and they've also hosted in Sydney. We've got the Gold Coast to come. So just a quick shout out, if you are on the Gold Coast, Media Aid are looking after that event. So if you're around the Gold Coast area, the basketball, it's May 7th. There's still some tickets available. So get along because it was a great event, and Giddey is a total pro, and it's good to see the Aussies doing well overseas, and there's none better right now than Josh Giddey.
No, I think he was amazing. Look, for someone who doesn't know a lot about basketball, he was really impressive for a 19-year-old. He literally took photos with everybody there. He stopped and signed everything. You would not have met a more impressive 19-year-old than him. And look, hopefully he's next year. I mean, I think he said that had he not have been injured, he probably would have got Rookie of the Year, which is probably disappointing for your first year in the NBA. When you're looking at that, you may have been Rookie of the Year, but he is an impressive man. He's only 19. Surely his career is just going to go up from here. And look, definitely converted me. As I said, I'm going to watch some NBA now, learn a few things from Parky and the boys. But yeah, it was a great night. Great night. Get along May 7th up on the Gold Coast. I think there's still kids' tickets left. I saw yesterday. Yep. Before we hit the AFL review, we're just going to talk about a big event that is coming up next week. Cannot wait for this one. We've got the Bulldozer 2022 Punters Club. So we are heading down to the Bull for the big jumps meet there. The Little Birdie team and friends are uniting for the 3-day carnival at Warrnambool. Buy a share in our syndicate as we bet every race at the Bull. Out wide stings at supporting cards. Get amongst it, Bulldozer 2022.
Yeah, it'll be good, Nikki. For anyone who hasn't partaken before, we do a betting syndicate through Top Sport. So if you load the Little Birdie app, join the syndicate, and you can invest anywhere from $50 units up to 1,000. We bet over all 3 days. Scooty and the team will have that. They're actually coming down. Scooty's making a visit back down to Melbourne, live in our studio. They'll be recording 6 hours a day for 3 days straight. So that will test our main man, Borko. He won't be out of the office at all. Nikki and I are lucky enough to go down to the Bull, so we will cover it from that end out there. So make sure you get around the Punters Club. We're looking to get a real big pool over the 3 days, and there's plenty of entertainment, and hopefully we'll show a profit like we did last year.
Yeah, can't wait. I downloaded it this morning, got amongst it. I'd like to be amongst it, even though we're going to be there. Follow us along, check in with the boys during the studio, and MG and I'll bring you all the goss from the track.
Yeah, we'll be entertaining any Little Birdie people down there. Make sure you
come
check
and find
it out.
us.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump straight into the AFL now. Let's get into the review of AFL Round 6. Here we go. St Kilda beat the GWS 77-60. Adelaide beat the Western Bulldogs 63-62. Port Adelaide took care of the West Coast 117-33. Fremantle beat Carlton 97-62. Geelong beat the Kangaroos 121-61. Brisbane beat the Gold Coast 132-80, and Melbourne took care of Richmond 76-54. MG, still got a couple of games to go today.
Yeah, Nikki, we've had it's been a very favourite orientated week so far. The bookies probably just feeling the pain at the moment. 6 out of the 7 favourites have won, so it's gone to the script. There's been 5 covers as well, which we'll just cover in a second. But there's been some smashings as well. Port Adelaide smashed West Coast I'm not sure where West Coast. I think their season might be over. And Geelong and Brisbane both putting on big margins on pretty average teams, Kangaroos and Gold Coast. The other games, I thought St Kilda, it was an average game against GWS, but they get to 5-1 now, put GWS in a big hole at 1-5. So I don't know where GWS are going to go from here. More pressure goes onto the coach, Leon Cameron. More importantly, the team. I think they're going really ordinary at the moment, GWS. The big upset for the week, which the bookies would have got a big result on, was Adelaide somehow finding a way over the Bulldogs. Tex Walker kicked an amazing goal late in the game, which actually was the sealer, even though it put him 7 points in front because the Bont got a goal late. So unbelievable effort from Adelaide, really, to go to Mars, which is a tough venue. The Bulldogs defend there well. So 1 point victory there puts the Bulldogs under real pressure at 2-4 now. So going forward for the Bulldogs, they can't make too many errors going forward. I think top 4 calculations might be beyond them this year. The other game was probably close to match of the round, I would have thought, in terms of how the teams lined up, was the Fremantle-Carlton game. Yeah. Fremantle were just dominant at home, really. They really put Carlton to the sword. And, I'm not sure where Carlton are at. They came in with a couple of weeks early of, big expectations. They got the supporters excited, and the last couple of weeks they've just gone off the boil. So Fremantle also tracking well, in the top 4 at the moment, 5-1. So they've probably been the surprise packet. Just want to wait for Freo to see when they play some good sides. They've had a really easy draw, I think, along with St Kilda. So I don't want to get too far ahead in those two teams. But, looking forward to 2 games today. Essendon Collingwood obviously be a big one. So we'll review that come Friday on our show.
Okay, if we just have a really quick look at the bookie wrap-ups for this week, very quickly, as MG said, 86% of faves, 71% of covers, 29% of over totals, and 29% of the home teams. And for the season, faves 71%, covers 52%, over totals 56%, and the home team 60%. Remembering we've just got a couple of games today as well. And if we just have a look at the AFL stings for this week, we've had 2 investments, lost the first one. We've got 1 pending today, so all our hopes are on Sydney. Now, if we just go quickly to the AFL Premiership market as well, remembering we've got a couple of games still to play, we do have Melbourne as very clear favourites now. What have we got? Melbourne at $2.80, the Brisbane Lions at $6, the Swans at $8, Geelong 12, St Kilda 13, Western Bulldogs 15, Freo 17, Carlton 19, and the Tigers at 26. MG.
Yeah, I think it's shaping out. We've spoken about this a couple of weeks now. Just keep up. Melbourne have obviously shortened a bit more up to 280. They're undefeated, obviously dominant team at the moment, and I don't think too much has changed behind. I think Brisbane are clearly the second best team. Hopefully Sydney get the job done against Hawthorn today. They'll hold down their spot as the third favourite, and then Geelong. Bulldogs he couldn't touch. Fremantle, again, we spoke about having a soft draw so far, and I couldn't entertain the rest behind it. So, yeah, other than the first couple at the moment, I think the rugby league's a bit the same that we've been talking about. I just think the strength's at the top, and at the moment, I couldn't be investing beyond the first couple.
Thank you, MG. Now we are going to get straight into the big blockbuster game today. So ANZAC Day Monday, Essendon Collingwood, 3:20 at the MCG. This is always a massive game. Here we go. Head-to-head prices. The Bombers, $2.46. Collingwood, $1.55. The Lions, 8.5. And the over-unders, 172.5. MG, tell me you feel the Bombers today, mate.
Yeah, give the Bombers a good chance. We spoke the other day about it. I think, the market's corrected itself a bit. Yep. I think it was out at about 14.5 for the Bombers. I thought that was a bit too big. Mm-hmm. So it's shaped into about where I think it should be, around that 7-8 mark. Obviously, Stringer and Merritt are expected to play, and obviously 2 keys for the Bombers. So that might have shaped the betting a little bit more. But, it's a great betting game. Collingwood have lost 3 in a row at the moment, so I wouldn't be jumping into them at minus 14.5 when it reached. I thought it was way too short. So, I think Anzac Day always brings out, doesn't matter where they are, generally on the ladder, it kind of minimises the, who's leading for that year. And so the betting will always tighten up. But I see this game as probably a free-flowing game. Obviously, we've spoken about before, the weather in Melbourne's fantastic today. Both teams are, can't afford to lose, especially Essendon. 1-4, they definitely don't want to be going down with a few other sides that are struggling at the 1-5 at the moment. So I think Essendon, I think they're in for the upset here for sure. If I was going to have a bet, it's not a game right now I'd want to get involved in, but I'd definitely be looking for Essendon small margins maybe. I think the total's probably about right, but I do expect a scoring game here, and the 171, it's creeped up to 172.5. So I think on a perfect day at the MCG, I think these two teams have like to score, so I think it'll be entertaining as long as they don't go down Melbourne's path last night of kicking 9 goals, 22. I think you'll see plenty of goals in this game, and I am shading your Bombers to get the job done.
Thanks, MG. All right, punters, now if you are interested in AFL punting, you need AFL stings from $22 a week in their Little Birdie live shop. Now, coming up next, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Nick Toprope Tedeschi. Welcome back, punters, to First Look, proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au, family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust, bet with TopSport. Okay, now we are just going to check the round 7 results in the NRL. So we have Cronulla beat Manly 34-22. The Broncos beat the Bulldogs 34-14. North Queensland beat the Titans 30-4. West Tigers beat South Sydney 23-22. Parramatta beat Newcastle 39-2, and Penrith beat Canberra 36-6. Toprope.
Yeah, week started with the Sharks kind of laying further claims to their premiership credentials. Outstanding CSF Talakai absolutely showed up. He's opposite Morgan Harper. You rarely see it in rugby league, but Essendon got hooked at half time, so it was enjoyable for all. The Bulldogs, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, lost again. The COVID-rattled Dogs had an excuse, but 34-14, embarrassing when they were on top of that game for the first 55, 60 minutes. The Titans were absolutely embarrassing. David Fifita trying the centres was abhorrent. Cowboys dominant there. The West Tigers beat their old rivals with another field goal late in the piece. Jackson Hastings was the hero last week, with Brooks this week. 23-22, a fine win for the Tigers. Have now won 2 straight. Parramatta humiliated Newcastle. The week Callum Ponga signed a long-term deal with the Knights in front of a big home crowd on a Sunday afternoon. The Knights absolutely did not show up, beaten 39-2. So one of the worst showings in club history. And the Panthers have few problems beating the Raiders 36-6. The Raiders actually did not have to play the ball in the Panthers half, in the second half, until 1 minute to play. So that's how dominant Penrith were. The final scoreline could have been 60 if things were clicking for Penrith. So a dominant win there for Penrith.
All right, now if we just have a look at Toprope's round 7 results for the GGOA, we've had 6 bets, 2 are still pending, 3 out of 4 wins. Toprope.
Yeah, it's been a good week so far. We had the overs saluting the Sharks game with relative ease, almost saluted before half time. And we had Penrith really dominating yesterday, which was outstanding. So they got the job done, covered the big number here. We've got 2 big minuses today, but regardless of results today, we'll have a profitable week. We do have a very big day of NRL today on ANZAC Day Monday. The first game is the Chookies taking on St George at the SCG today at 4 o'clock. Betting prices are head-to-head, St George $4.10, the Chooks $1.25. The line is 12.5, and the over-unders are 39.5. Toprope, the big rivalry today. Yeah, got to be with the your Chookies here. We're laying the 12.5 points. They are very good at the SCG. They're very good against the Dragons. They've posted big numbers on them in 6 of their last 7. They've won 7 straight. So George-Illawarra just continues to shoot themselves in the foot. Things are going on from bad to worse for them. So they pulled out a pretty lucky win against Newcastle last week. That form barely held up at all this week. So I'll be jumping on the Roosters minus. Okay, and for today's second game for the ANZAC Day Monday, we've got the Storm taking on the Warriors at Amy Park tonight at 7 p.m. The head-to-head prices, the Melbourne Storm are $1.09, the Warriors $8. The line is 19.5 and the over-under 43.5. Toprope. Yeah, best of the week here, the Storm laying the points here. The Warriors have been playing pretty good against some pretty ordinary sides, but the Storm are really clicking the gear here. They absolutely love this matchup. The biggest myth in rugby league is that the Warriors are the bogey side of the Storm. The Storm have won 11 straight. They've scored 42 in 5 of those, including the last 3. Storm minus bet of the week.
And we might just take a quick look at Thursday night's game for the NRL, which will kick off round 8. We've got Brisbane taking on Cronulla at Suncorp, 7:50pm. Approximate betting prices at the moment, head-to-head, Brisbane $3.60, Cronulla are $1.30. The line looks to be about 10.5. No totals at the moment. Toprope, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, well, Cronulla have been foreign. They jumped to a huge lead against Manly, falling in that fate. Oh, I actually don't mind the Broncos on home turf here. They'll get the plus 10.5 here. They're a much different side at home. They're getting a big start at home. They're usually a fairly reliable proposition of late. The Sharks, look, they were very good that first half against Manly. They got beaten 22-2 in the second half. They were fairly ordinary against the Tigers the week before. Yeah, I'm happy to roll with the Broncos getting 10.5 points. I think it's too many.
Okay. So bear in mind we do have a couple of games today. We're just going to have a quick look at the Premiership market here. So we've got Penrith $2.80, the Storm $3.60, the Roosters $6.50, Cronulla $7, Parramatta $10, Manly $21, South Sydney $21, and North Queensland $81, and the Broncos $1.51. Anything surprise you there, Toprope? Do you see any value?
Look, I still think the Roosters at $6.50 are riding down. They're obviously off the pace at the moment with from Melbourne and Penrith, but you don't win premierships in April, so I think some fire up to the right time of year more often than not. So I'll have $6.50, and if I had to pick between the top two, it'll be a zero surprise to any listener here, but I'd rather be on the Storm at $3.60 than the Panthers at $2.80.
Thanks for that, Toprope. Now, if you are serious about your NRL punting, you need GGOA. Head to Little Birdie TV. Look for GGOA. It's available from $22 a week. Serious about the NRL? You need GGOA.
Okay, thanks, Nikki. Time for our betting part of the segment here where we pick a best bet for charity each week. So our week 7 results, we've actually got 2 of our 3 pending today. So Nikki's the only one that's missed out on the NRL. The Titans plus 1.5 were obliterated. So Toprope likes the Storm minus 18.5 today, and I am on the Swans. That was minus 8.5. So we'll see how those go. We'll just go to our forward, the week 8 predictions coming up. Nikki, tell me you're coming back to AFL this week.
I am. I'm coming back to the AFL. The NRL is not doing me any favours. So I'm going to take St Kilda at the line, minus 8.5 at the moment.
Okay, St Kilda minus 8.5 against Port Adelaide next week. Toprope, what have you got?
Parramatta minus 11.5.
Okay, thanks, Toprope. Toprope's tipping Parramatta at the line, minus 11.5 there for Wayside Chapel. And for myself, for Love Me, Love You, I'm going to be tipping Geelong at the line, minus 14.5. So as you can see there on the graphic, our 3 tips for next week. Nikki.
That is a wrap for First Look today on your ANZAC Day Monday. Thanks to MG and Toprope for joining me. Please follow us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to download our podcast everywhere you get your good podcasts from. Follow us at Little Birdie TV on Twitter and Insta. Remember, all your footy betting action is found at topsport.com.au. We'll be here next Monday. Thankfully, not a public holiday. And don't forget to join OB with the boys on Friday for all the latest weekend footy betting action. Thanks, guys.